the wordpress.org website and we need to download WordPress. So we click on the button to download and then we download the software to our computer. WordPress has now successfully downloaded, and as before you can see it's downloaded a zip folder and then automatically expanded that. If you're using an older Apple Mac operating system, it might be the case that you might have to manually extract the zip file and download some software to do that. But R1 here has put it in a folder, expanded it, and it's called WordPress. This needs to live in the MAMP folder. Now I'm going to open up another window. I'm going to go to my applications and I'm going to go down and I'm going to find MAMP. So I just want MAMP and I open that up. Now, where all your website folders or applications, where they all should live, they should live in the HT docs folder. So what I'll do here is I'll just open that up and I will drag my WordPress folder and place it inside here. Now if you're going to set up multiple WordPress sites, your best bet would be to probably rename those appropriately, because you don't want them all to be called WordPress. You might be called WordPress 1 or test site 1 and so forth, but we've just got one folder in here. Now if I open that up, we need to configure some information on here. Now there's lots of files in here. All of them have file extensions of PHP because they're database driven applications, or we're going to work with our database. Now we need to configure our setup here. Now when you go down here you'll see WP config sample. Now this file we need to open. Now you need to open that up in just some plain text file. So we're going to click on it here and I'm going to drag it down to my dock and I've got text edit and open it in that. Give us a warning about it's coming from the internet. We'll click open, that's fine. Now we'll open it up and we need to take a closer look on what we need to do here. Now as we follow down here it will have what the database name is. So it's asking us what the database name is. So here it's got my QSL database username, and that's given us a prompt in those two stars, and then underneath it's got define db underscore user, and then it's got in inverted commas or speech marks username here. Now if you remember our username was root. Also we'll come down here and we'll see it's got SQL database password. Again it's got password, and we will type in root again. Now make sure you don't delete the speech marks, they're very important to have them in. Now the last thing we need to do, further up here it has DB name, database name here. Now again you need to remember, usually write these things down. We called it WP1. That's what we called our database. So you'll need to make sure you know what you called your database to put that in here. But when you're using MAMP, the username and the password are both root, because we don't need to worry about any security implications because it's going to run from our computer and not on the internet. Now if I close that down, and the last thing I need to do is from that file's name I need to delete the word sample off the end. Now that should just say WP config. We don't need the sample at the end. That's only for setup purposes. Okay, we're ready to get the site going. I've opened up the browser. In this case I've opened up Safari, and what I need to do is in the address I need to type in http // localhost colon 888, and then at the end /, and I need to type in the folder's name where the WordPress software lives. So that was WordPress. And finally, all I need to do is press enter or return on my keyboard, and a window will appear. You'll see the address bar up the top has changed. It's added WP admin install, and it's asking us what we want to name our site. So I'll just call that test site. It asks us some other information, again very similar for when you're setting up WordPress online. It will, the username, it's suggesting admin, we'll leave it as admin, and then it wants our password. In this case it doesn't have to be anything strong because it's going to not be on the internet. I'm just going to call it open, and then I'm going to type it in open again. Easily remembered. We need to put in an email. That's if you lose your password, you can have it sent to you. Again, doesn't really matter too much because we're running it from our machine here, but if we didn't put it in, we'd get an error. Okay, we're going to click on install. Tells us everything's successful, and we click login. All I'm going to type in is admin, and I chose my password, which was open, and I click login. And there we are, ready to play around with our WordPress site, which is running through MAMP from our computer, local disk, rather than being online. If at any point you want to finish up here, when you close down the window, the MAMP window will always be on, and you can press the quit button and it will quit out of the MAMP, and then we can close everything down. If you want to work on your site again, you will have to go down to the dock, open up MAMP, launch it, and then it'll come onto the welcome screen, says all's well, and then we can, as we did before, we can type in our website folder we're working from. In this case it was WordPress, and it will take us straight into our website ready to edit and use.